Welcome to another high school preview segment, a part of the Palmetto Dugout Show. Today we got Coach Waits from Dutch Fork High School. What's going on, Coach?
Good afternoon. Hope everybody's had a good Christmas break and great holiday. Now it's time to get ready for some baseball.
That's right. It's coming up quick here. We're excited about it, and I know you are as well, to see your team continue this upcoming season. So we'll hop right into it. Talk about your team a little bit last year, as well as some guys that you lost off of that team.
We always lose a lot of players at 5A level. Last year, Hayden Friend, he's moved on to Darlington. Flo Dart, great outfielder with speed. Quentin Bennett, Blake Martin, both at USC. Spartanburg, George Shadowski, who came on strong at the end of the year. Justin Tanner, Paul Pridgeon, Drew Warmond, who was our team leader, and Dylan Wilson. So we lose players every year, and we still keep up with them, but we like what we got coming back this year as well.
Yeah, no doubt. It seems like you got a lot of talent coming back this year from last year, that you, especially one coming that you didn't have any last year. So we'll get to that right now with your top returning starters that you've got coming.
We'll probably be known as a pitching team. That is what we'll be known for. Returning starters that already people know about is Kevin Samansky, College of Charleston commit. Tyler Hodges, who did not play last year, had Tommy John surgery. He's a College of Charleston commit. Really excited about him. He's kind of transformed his body and worked hard in the weight room, worked with nutrition, and has looked good on the mound as well. Wilkes Dent, who is going to USC Lancaster, who's another pitcher. Aiden Blevins, UNC Union, another pitcher. Landon Call, who will be a first baseman, but also pitches for us. He's going to the Citadel. Paul Taylor, outfielder, going to the Citadel. He pitches as well. Make sure I'm not missing all our pitchers. We're kind of pitcher dominant. We also have an infielder, J.J. Smalls, who's going to USC Lancaster to play middle infield. So going into the season, I think people will focus their attention on our pitching, which means we need to focus our attention on what our defense, and for the first time in 10 years, our hitting. We're going to have to make some adjustments, and that's part of being a coach, is adapting with your team, is adapting with our hitters. Those are just a few, but I kind of ran through our pitchers. That's what we're excited about. We got to figure out, we play 3-game series, so 3 starters. Who's the reliever? Who's the closer? How do you attack the opponent? Who's going to be doing the same thing? It should be an interesting year.
Yeah, no doubt. At least you got the pitchings. That's your strength, because in the region that you're in, it's a tough region, and having that strong pitching is really going to help, especially with Hodges. We've seen Hodges pitch. He's a power arm, going to be great. And then you got Samansky as a pitchability guy, and those two together. Go ahead.
I forgot one of my underclassmen just because he's younger, but Hunter Phipps, who's also committed to College of Charleston. He pitched a no-hitter in the playoffs last year, and so he's another one we have coming back as well.
Yeah, Phipps, we got to see him at the future games, is another guy that's going to be great for y'all too. I mean, you got 3 really good arms right there, which will be key in that region. So what about some newcomers, whether they were, off JV coming up or didn't contribute a lot last year, but you think they will this year?
Well, I got a little list here, so let's go through. I didn't mention, because I was so focused on pitching, we got some other returners who we like. Brennan Otone, who was our catcher, is a great pure hitter. Looking forward to what he does in the field this year. LJ Solomon, who played a little bit last year, I think he's going to be a contributor in the outfield. Great weight room guy. Probably will have some pop in his bat. Peyton Friend is kind of a defensive specialist with some speed. Cliff Hall, another outfielder for us. Like I said, J.J. Smalls. These are guys who were on the team last year, who didn't get as much opportunity, but will get more opportunity before we get to kind of our younger guys.
Yeah.
And there's always going to be somebody that's going to pop up on this list that's going to probably contribute. If we make that playoff run, basically in my tenure here for 10 years, somebody has done something major in a playoff game that wasn't listed early on.
You don't expect that, yeah.
Top new players, we like Connor McKee. He's a catcher, probably can play the outfield. High character kid, has pop in his bat. Matthew Rollison, He'll be a pitcher for us and a infielder. Did a lot of things on our JV team, and it's his turn to shine. Brady Yarborough will be an infielder. We're going to figure out our dirt and who's going to make those defensive plays. So Brady's a player in that position. Leighton Schuler will be a newcomer, played football, who will be in the outfield, like his speed, like his bat. And back to Matthew Rollison, we have 2 young pitchers we like. And I'm sure that somebody else, and I'm thinking of one right now, but I'm not going to mention his name, as a sophomore contribute. But we like Matthew Rollison to be one of those contenders with those upper arms that we spoke of, and a sophomore named Boone Miller. We're going to give him a shot early and see if he's ready to help us at the varsity level.
Yeah, no doubt. Those high school guys, those younger ones, that's when, if they can help you, then you got a really good team, because you always, like you said, you always get that surprise somewhere in the high school season. Now
we also have one more guy. I'm guarded because you never know if you're young guys how much you want to promote them, but
yeah,
we have a freshman named Ethan Offing, who the way we structure practice, he'll have an opportunity to practice with the varsity. He's a middle infielder, can pitch a little bit. I think it's just a matter of maturation because he's a 9th grader on the mound. Great guy at the plate and great in the field. He also plays quarterback at Dutch Fort, which always kind of translates to helping us on the baseball diamond.
Yeah, exactly. You got a good bit of those. You've had a good bit of those football players translating to the diamond for you while you've been at Dutch Fort. Always a good thing to have. So let's talk about your region a little bit. We talked about before we got on here, it's a tough region. How does that region prepare you guys for the run in the playoffs?
Well, the first thing you have to do in this region is kind of change your ways. When I first got this job, you put, okay, we're going to win the region, compete in every game, make a playoff run, win the region. You don't have to win the region in this region. It's 5 teams, all 5 are quality. In 2019, when we won the state, we actually finished 3rd in the region. We've won the region 3 times in the last 8-9 years. But what it does is you're playing a playoff game every region game, and you're just trying to get in. I mean, it's a little different. A lot of coaches, hey, you want to finish 1st or 2nd in your region. And don't get me wrong, I want to finish 1st or 2nd in this region. But when you're playing Lexington, River Bluff, Chapin, we're in it, White Knoll, you've got quality players, quality coaches, and people who are highly competitive. You kind of have to. I've become miserable during our region. I actually like the playoffs, and hopefully we get in. So I don't know if that answers the question, but you have to change the way you look at things. There's no, okay, we're going to win these, we're going to beat this team and worry about next week. No, that every region game is basically a playoff game. And what that does is you'll have players that are ready, and you'll have players who they overanalyze it. They treat a playoff game as the same as any game. Mm-hmm. So what you're trying to do is teach these guys that in these high pressure situations, you play the game the same way you do, regardless of the score. We're not playing the scoreboard. We're not playing the opponent. We're trying to figure out who we're gonna put out there in that game when we make the playoffs that has shown us that they could do it in a high stress situation.
And it's good that your region's like that too, because like you said, it's like a playoff game every time. So they become used to it every time. So when you get in that playoffs and you make a run, it's normal at this point because you've been playing Lexington, River Bluff in a big atmosphere. So it's kind of just like it's normal at that point. Whereas you go somewhere else and you're not in a great region, it doesn't become normal once you get there. So I know that region's a fun one every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm sure.
My coaches my assistant coaches have smiles on their faces. My players have smiles on their faces. I'm a nervous wreck. Every game, nervous wreck. You could, irregardless of the score, until the last out is made, you don't know what's going to happen in that region.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, that would be a nervous wreck every Monday, Wednesday, Friday until that seventh inning, bottom of the seventh, it's over, hits. Then you're like, all right, we can relax. Now we get ready for the next game.
Yes.
So what do you expect from your guys? You talked about pitching being one of your strengths. What else do you expect from your team going into this high school season?
Well, we have a thing where we say we're going to do it the Dutch Fort way. We're going to compete at a high level. We always feel like the names I've given you, the names that's come through here the last 10 years that I've been coaching, 30 years in the program, we're going to play the game the right way. We're going to compete at a high level, and we're going to focus on us. We're not focused on the opponent. We don't do a lot of scouting until the playoffs. It's more of trying to figure out who we are. So we focus on who we are. This comes from Coach Knotts. My athletic director is Tom Knotts, legendary coach. That's another hard thing. It's hard to compete when your football coach wins the state virtually every year. But he has this quote, and it says, in the fight for perfection, greatness occurs. So what we're trying to do at Dutch Fort, we're trying to be perfect. We want to be perfect in the classroom. We want to be perfect in the community. We want to be perfect on the field. But let's face it, we're going to bat about 300. We're going to make some errors. We're going to not hit spots, and that's okay. But in the fight for that perfection, it'll give us a chance to be great on the field and off.
Yeah, those kids are fighting. It builds adversity for those kids too, not only in high school, but what they need later on in life as well. And that's huge. So you're doing a great job, by the way. I love watching Dutch Fort play baseball about every time I go out. So,
well, I love watching it too. I'm just a part of it. We call this, it's our program. Everybody has a part. Our Irmo Little League has contributed to this. The parents have contributed to this. The administration at the school, the community, the players who've played in the past who come back. They create the Dutch Fort way and Dutch Fort baseball. I'm just blessed to be they call me the skipper or the manager. I don't know how much I coach. I manage the players, and with our assistant coaches who do a great job of coaching them, we put this all together, and we are proud of what we do here at Dutch Fort.
Yeah, it's been great to follow. When I was in high school and in college, it's been great to follow that program all the way through. And can't wait to get out and see you guys in the spring as well. So, Coach, we appreciate you joining today and previewing Dutch Fort for us in the upcoming high school season.
Well, thanks for having us. Thanks for all y'all do for the young men in the state of South Carolina. And we'll try and put a team out there that competes every night, every afternoon, and does the best it can, and recognizes sometimes we're going to fail. But in the end, hopefully we'll make a run in the playoffs.
Yes, sir. We look forward to catching those games here soon.
All right.